I finally played and beat Expedition 33. I don't even know where to start. I guess first off, stop and listen to this. Do you recognize that? I'll give you a couple seconds. That is the title screen song. If you didn't know what that was, I implore you, I don't care about video retention or whatever. Please click off this video and go play the game. This game is something that should truly be experienced without any spoilers, because this is the first instance, at least for games that I've played, that I feel I'm getting the classic JRPG feeling, but brought to modern times, and done well. And listen, the FF7 Remake series games are my favorite games of all time, assuming they don't fuck up the story in Part 3, which, by the way, I'm calling now, is going to be called Remember. So as weird as it feels to say this game genuinely feels like FF7 brought to the current times. I mean, they got the turn-based strategy at its core with modern flair, they've got a story with amazing twists and turns, characters where the interactions between them feel amazingly written, they've got the weapons, they've got the high wind, tiny bronco, submarine, hell, they literally even ported Aerith. Alright, I was joking. This is actually her. I started playing the game in July, so just a couple months late. And because I follow a lot of games news and shows, I knew of a couple spoilers going in. One was that the game was very similar to FF7, and the way the dude said it, I could tell he was implying that a main party member dies. And the only other thing I knew is that Maelle is older than she appears to be. Now, if you're still watching this video but haven't beat the game, you might not think this is a big deal, but for those who have beaten the game, you probably realize this greatly changes the perception of the story as it's unfolding, and could potentially dampen some moments for me. Now, let me show you the thoughts I wrote down as I underwent the journey of playing this story of deception and grief. So it's July, it was on sale, and I just got tired of playing my Elden Ring rerun one night, so I bought it. It was only 10% off, but fuck it. I feel like I needed something where I can escape from life from, where I can't think about anything and just focus on the game and what's happening. Weird, because I feel like this is the first time I've ever actually done this, or at least consciously knowing that I'm doing it and why. I'm actually excited and hyped to play this game, and I don't think that's happened for a game since Rebirth. Alright, I haven't even started the game, I've just been listening to the start screen music for like the last 20 minutes. These motherfuckers weren't lying about the music, god damn. Damn, what the fuck? I was really confused at first. Everything was so vague. Gamache and other terms. I understood Gustav was going on the expedition, so I figured all the flowers and shit were for the expedition people. It didn't even register in my mind that he got a flower for someone else. And then I was thinking Sophie at the last second will decide to join them, and then the Paintress turned it to 33 and people started getting Thanos, and it hit me. Oh shit. She said she was 33 years old earlier, and she's gonna get dusted too. Like, all these things that had me confused just made perfect sense all at once. I don't know if it was designed like that, or if I just didn't pick up on the clues until it was too late, but that intro was beautifully done. Alright, we all just got dusted off rip. Maybe that thing was actually saving us from the old man by teleporting us. Also, the old man looked like an old Gustav. Alright, never mind. Everyone got turned to stone. I was so immersed in Act 1, I barely wrote anything for it. Besides that, the combat music, like, literally everything meshes so well together. And the combat made me rethink how I view the combat in FF7 Remake and Rebirth. Before playing this game, I believed Remake and Rebirth were the perfect blend of action and turn-based. Because even if you took one half away, you still have an almost complete combat system with the other half. And I think Remake proved it with, I believe it was called Classic Mode, where you don't control the character's basic attacks or blocks or anything, you just wait for the ATB to fill up and then choose an action, like the original FF7. But after playing Expedition 33 for a bit, this is a turn-based game with heavy action, almost soul-like elements. And now I kind of see Remake Rebirth as more action than turn-based rather than that perfect blend, but just by a bit. Wow. Wow, 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 that's crazy. Okay, so going in, I knew a couple things. Something about Maelle actually being older than she appears, and it being like FF7. And I inferred one of my party members were gonna die. I knew it couldn't be Maelle, she seemed too important. Ciel seems too much like a side character. Lune is the healer and your first party member. I was 100% positive it would be her. Never in a million years did I think it would be Gustave. Like, I even read something because I was trying to figure out if a weapon was any good. I think it was the Abysseron, and it said it was for Gustave/Verso, and I was just like, oh, you'll have to decide between the two who gets what sword weapon when I eventually recruit him. It didn't even click in my mind that he would be the replacement for Gustave because the thought was impossible to me. Got Minoko.
Let's exactly count me in then.
I think this game is the modern FF7. It's one of the few games I've played that actually seems to understand how great it can be when characters interact with each other. It makes me think a lot about modern games where it feels like they try to make the side quests interesting, when actuality, the side quest on its face can be boring, but can be made great and memorable through the characters interacting with each other, like in my opinion FF7 Rebirth did.
Don't worry. Under Junon doesn't really have any strategic value. I mean, it would get taken along with the rest of the city. But so long as you don't piss off the occupying forces, they probably wouldn't beat the crap out of you.
And now we need to take down the Axums, which are literally like the weapons. This is FF7 incarnate. I'll die on that hill. Working on all this side content that's opened up, which is really good, but I'm so curious about the story I want to skip it and move on. I got into the monolith, and Lune says something like, the Paintress teaching her children to paint, or something like that. I think the Paintress is Verso's mother, because he had just said in his support convo with I think Lune, he said both parents were renowned artists, but he wanted a different route. Just killed Renoir, and the curator disappeared too, so I'm pretty sure they were both the same person. Maybe the physical looking person is the fake, and the weird looking creature is the real soul. So then if they kill the Paintress, I'm guessing Verso will also die, but then wouldn't Maelle too? Because I'm pretty sure she's the sister. Only thing that makes sense with the spoiler I had from the beginning, where she's older than she appears. Wait, so everyone just dies? I think I didn't understand a big part of whatever the fuck just happened. Okay, at the epilogue, I just wish I knew if I missed something or if you actually learn it in Act 3. I know there will be a third act, not just the epilogue, because there was floating islands and Esquier just got the stone to learn to fly. Wait, what the fuck? So the whole world is fake, and Alicia went to the painting and was reborn as Maelle, and something about a sliver of Verso's soul is the only reason Aline and Renoir are still fighting? So are both Renoir and Aline dead in the real world? What even is there to do in Act 3? Okay, I think I'm understanding. Something in the real world about Maelle trusting the writers or something caused a fire and Verso to die. Aline painted and entered Verso's canvas and painted the family back to life, but left Alicia with her burns, maybe because she resents her for getting Verso killed. Renoir realizes it's killing the mom, so he erases stuff. But did we kill the real Renoir? Or the one the mom painted? Just saw the curator, so I'm guessing he's the real father. Yep, he's got a paintbrush. This shit is so crazy. So Maelle just brought Ciel and Lune back to life. Why can't she bring back Gustave? Because he wasn't gamaged? I'm just a little confused what we're fighting for now. Obviously to keep Verso and the crew besides Maelle alive, but she said something about old Chroma can't bring back the older dead, so can we not bring back people before the last gamage that got Ciel and Lune? And why didn't that final gamage kill Verso, Esquier, and Minoko? Okay, so I wrote in Gustave's journal and got Gustave homage, and it mentioned bringing the apprentices back, so we can bring back and save everyone from that final gamage, but I guess not before then. Alright, a YouTube video titled something like A Deconstruction of Villainy or something like that, Clea, appeared in my recommended on YouTube, so I'm guessing she's the true villain or something like that. If so, pretty stupid way to get spoiled if that ends up being the case. Decided I'm just gonna do the main side content like the character quests, then go finish the story. At least that's the plan. So I did all the side quests for the characters. So fucking good. The only other game I've played that I think has this level of character interactions is Remake and Rebirth. Only slight disappointment I have so far is I thought there would be more to the underwater exploration. I didn't think it would be like a whole new world underneath, but I thought it would at least bring you into a tiny new zone, not just give you like 5 Lumina. Just finished the game. I got a lot of questions that I have no doubt I'll spend tens of hours on YouTube and Google figuring out the answers to, but I think I should finish my thoughts first before I find the answers to those. First off, Verso or Maelle. Every other time in my life when I'm hit with an obvious story-changing choice, I've looked up what choice produces what outcome, but not this time. It seemed obvious what the outcomes would be. I chose Maelle. Logically, I agree with Renoir and Verso more, and I was even thinking that before we knew Verso's intentions while fighting Renoir. But I can understand where Maelle is coming from. I'm saying this before watching the Verso ending, but I think it's clear there's no right answer. But it's weird, I think you could see it in Maelle's face as she was watching the play. There didn't seem to be any happiness or joy in her face, despite getting what she wanted. I just tried to continue the game to see the other ending because it looked like it saves right before the fight with Renoir, but when I went there was no one there. Confused because of that YouTube video about villainy and Clea, but I guess maybe the other ending has more to it. I watched the other ending. It was nice. Personally, I don't see either as the good ending, but after watching it, I think Verso's ending will be seen as the good ending, or at least the better option. I watched the Clea deconstruction of villainy video. First off, amazing video, I'll leave it linked in the description, but it made me realize the few endgame dungeons I didn't do explained a lot of the lore gaps I had in my knowledge, like with Simon and Painted Clea. Watched more videos and read more shit. There was so much I didn't understand. Not just basic stuff of like who created what Nevrons and what their purpose was, like Clea's being to seal the chroma to weaken her mother, but also the characters' reasons and motivations for doing what they do. I'd have to replay to get the full picture, but in retrospect, I don't think a single character's actions are random. They seem to all be calculated, or maybe that's not the right word, like calculated from the story writer's perspective, as in the makers of the game, and they're rational and explainable from the character's perspective. One of the best games I've ever played. There's not an if I'll play it again, but when, and I need to track down the collector's edition, whichever one has the steelbook. I don't know how a brand new studio with a team of 30-ish people managed to pull this off as their first game. Honestly, I don't know how they make something better, whether that be a sequel off of Verso's ending, a game about Clea and her battle with the writers, or if they abandon this world and do something entirely new. But I promise you, I am pre-ordering the collector's edition of whatever they do next, because that's the faith they've earned from me as a developer with this game. Alright, there's actually two editions with the steelbook. The collector's edition, which is going for like 1,000, and the Lumiere edition, which is going for like 200. Either way, I'm gonna need this video to blow up and get the channel monetized so I can afford that. Editor Relit here. They restocked the collector's edition, but I missed it. But they did do pre-orders for the Lumiere edition again at GameStop, and a brand new edition on Amazon called the Mirror edition that has a different steelbook. I ended up getting the Lumiere edition, but I do really want that other steelbook. Oh, and last thing before I go, I read a comment about a theory in how in the sequel it'll be revealed that Verso's alive and faked his death to abandon his family and join the writer's side. Now that would be crazy. I won't go over it here, but if they could pull that off in a way that makes sense story-wise and doesn't diminish Expedition 33's story, that would be some next level shit. I already know that's gonna stir some shit up in the comments, so if you made it this far, let me know what you think about that theory. And I think that's gonna about do it. I'm recording this after I finished editing the video. This video should not have taken anywhere near this long. I finished the game, I think, August 1st or 2nd. I want to blame it on my actual job and other stuff going on in life, but I think the real reason is I knew my editing and my scripting wasn't up to par with how this game made me feel, and I knew I couldn't do it true justice, so I kind of just delayed over and over again. I don't really know what I'm gonna do content-wise for the rest of the year. If they reveal FF7 Part 3 at the Game Awards, I'll probably do a video on that, but other than that, the only thing I think I have planned is the games I played in 2025 video. And yeah, I think that's about it. If you made it this far, really, thank you for sticking around. This game and making this video was a journey.
As long as even one of us stands, our fight is not over.